Hello, this is Worth a Minute, and I'm Craig Werth. I didn't pick the title, and my parents picked the name, but I'm happy to be with you today. I can sometimes be slow to take a hint. I want to get better at reading cues and subtle signs, but sometimes I'm just oblivious. Just ask my wife. One of my best teachers is our dog, Sadie, a terrier mix, 20 pounds of delightful personality. Sadie is what many of us refer to as a rescue dog, meaning one rescued from a shelter. Using that term for her in that way makes little sense. She did come from a shelter, and she may be a rescue dog, but she's the one doing the rescuing. Once we took her in and saw her grace and patience, friendliness and adaptability, we knew we had to share her outside of our household. My wife Liz and I got trained to use her as a therapy dog. She holds eye contact with people for a remarkably long time, calmly looking into your eyes in a way that invites and soothes. She does not always follow direction, and she has some mild characteristic terrier stubbornness, but she was almost always good-natured. When Sadie needs or wants something, she comes over, wags her tail, looks you in the eyes. If you don't catch the more subtle communication, she may put a paw on your knee. If that doesn't get your attention, she'll make a rather quiet woof sound. And on very rare occasions, she'll bark a single sharp note. But for the most part, she is refined in her approach. She's subtle. She expects that you will pay attention enough to want to find out what's up for her. I like to think that I am a sensitive and perceptive man, but sometimes I just miss the cues. Although I pay very close attention when we are working together in a pet therapy situation, sometimes on our days off, I get lost in other things. My attention is elsewhere. If I'm visiting a friend or family member, I'll ignore her attempts at getting my attention. I'll say wait or quiet or not now. Depending upon what's going on for her, she'll persist with her efforts. And then I might express my master status with more assertion. No, I might say, go lay down, be quiet. I've had to learn the lesson the hard way, that when Sadie is trying to get my attention, I'd better listen. She's always got a pretty good reason for interrupting. More than once, when she's communicated in this way, and I've disregarded it multiple times, she's done the equivalent of saying, "Don't say I didn't give you a chance, buddy," and disappeared around a corner or up a flight of stairs, even at someone else's house. And it was only later on that I discovered what her rather urgent need was, and I found myself wishing I'd paid closer attention. It's not just about nature calling with her. Once it was our indoor cat escaping outside and her being aware of this and trying to let us know. Another time it was someone outside who had very gently knocked on the door and we hadn't noticed, and she was trying to let us know. And still another time I found that we were meeting in a space with a concrete floor that was cold, and she had no place to lie down. And she was just looking for a small, reasonable measure of comfort in that space. I realize that this communication phenomenon doesn't just apply to dogs. Kids and partners and friends and others often communicate in subtle or indirect ways about some important need. A small subtle act of disruptive or even uncharacteristic communication may feel like an intrusion or an inconvenience or annoyance, but quite often there's a message worth listening to beneath the surface.